all are completely downplaying what we know. We know plenty about this person.
What?
We know that he lived in the country illegally for 14 years. I know it's okay with you.
I said that.
That's not
we know. Time out. No.
We know.
That's not. That is not okay with me, but that's not. But that's not a. But that is literally.
First of all, we all know that you both interrupt each other all the time.
That is not a crime.
To live in the country illegally?
That's not a crime. That's a status offense. Stop telling people stuff that's not true.
I am just. My mind is so blown here.
Go ahead and finish.
By the last 2 nights
Scott,
with you about
it's not a criminal offense.
Bakari, just can we give?
It's a civil violation.
Bakari, can we give Scott?
So he's in the country illegally 14 years. That's number one. We also know what his wife told the courts and law enforcement about him. That he was violent, that he beat her.
But he's not being charged with that.
That he
That's
was.
hearsay.
That he was. So you said we don't know if he's a bad guy.
We don't.
I trust his wife when she runs off and says, "Please protect me from this man."
What if his wife said, "This man's great"? You wouldn't trust her. That's insane.
You're acting like we don't know things. We
Prosecute
do know
him.
things. We
Prosecute
know.
him.
And so,
prosecute him.
At a minimum, what we know should be more than enough for anybody at this table to say, "Yes, please
Scott,
get him the hell out."
Let me ask you this. Do you let me ask you this. Do you think they charged him to try to save face? Yes or no? Honestly,
I think
do
they
you
charged him
believe
because
they
he
charged him
committed
with a crime
crimes.
to try to save face? Yes or no?
I think they charged him because
Scott,
he committed serious crimes, apparently.
Scott,
that's why they charged him.
He's back in the country. He's been indicted by a grand jury. Professor, have you had the opportunity to read that indictment? What do you make of it? Does it have a lot of teeth?
Well, this is not the guy that National Public Radio described as living quietly in Maryland. I mean, the indictment is really incredible reading, about over 100 trips, and the allegation that he was a central part in a massive human smuggling operation. The irony here, Lawrence, is that the United States is now the last place Abrego Garcia wants to be. He's like a runner caught between first and second. He's going to get tagged out either way, but by getting back to second, he's looking at over a decade of jail potentially.
It was a dumb move, and now he's going to face the piper here in our country. Jonathan, thanks so much for your analysis. We appreciate it.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. When you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Couldn't be me. I would have said, just y'all gone. I'll stay over here. We don't got to do all this. We don't got to do all this. He come back and, man, our face is 20 years. I mean, just to be come back, just to be thrown back in the slammer. I tell you, man, the Democrats' hero, the Maryland father. We wish y'all cared this much about actual Americans. I mean, do y'all see what they're saying on the fake news media, the mainstream media, and how the Democrats are left, what they're saying? We wish y'all put this much energy, passion, time into the American people. We wish y'all cared this much about the American people. I tell you, it'll be completely different. You know, what a disgrace. Now we got more breaking news. Bombshells are flying everywhere. People are resigning. Attorneys are resigning. I mean, it's just crazy. So let's go and get into it. But if you're new here, join the family. I hope everybody that is tuning in right now is blessed, well, and healthy. That you're having an amazing week. That 2025 is going well for you and your family. We are rooting for President Trump's administration and majority of America. Landslide. Popular vote, every single swing state, you know, America First agenda, common sense, you know, you got to do things the right way. Yeah. And also a new sheriff is in town. All we needed was a new president. And, yeah, it's time to flip the script, but let's get into this, man. And we're going to get into another video as well. Huge shout out to Julie for sending that over for me to check out. And that is coming from, law of self-defense, and it's on the chief attorney, U.S. attorney, who resigns after Abrego Garcia is returned, and they're saying all kind of things. It's a good thing he quit. We don't need people like that in office. He must have been on the cartel's payroll. We have to get these communist plants out of our government. Oh boy. Yeah. As a conservative Tennessean, this is wonderful news. The liberals have ruined this state. What a great day for the citizens of Tennessee. Replace him with a fair-minded individual that will uphold the rule of law. Yeah, so we're going to jump right into that, but let's get into this real quick.
Breaking as we speak. In fact, as we speak right now, I believe there's a press conference that is beginning to unfold, including Attorney General Pam Bondi on these latest charges for Kilmer Abrego Garcia.
Alien smuggling and conspiracy to commit alien smuggling in violation of Title 8 U.S.C. 1324. We want to thank President Bukele for agreeing to return Abrego Garcia to the United States. Our government presented El Salvador with an arrest warrant, and they agreed to return him to our country. We're grateful to President Bukele for agreeing to return him to our country to face these very serious charges. This is what American justice looks like. Upon completion of his sentence, we anticipate he will be returned to his home country of El Salvador. The grand jury found that over the past 9 years, Abrego Garcia has played a significant role in an alien smuggling ring.
Yeah.
They found
these are Democrats' heroes. Nothing, you know. These are the people they love and vouch for. Get on, big nice private jets, and they fly on the taxpayers' dime to El Salvador to have margaritas and and to have a good time with the good criminal gang member. Pat him on his little butt, give him a high five. These are Democrats' heroes.
this was his full-time job, not a contractor. He was a smuggler of humans and children and women. He made over 100 trips, the grand jury found, smuggling people throughout our country. MS-13 members, violent gang terrorist organization members throughout our country. Thousands of illegal aliens were smuggled. This is especially disturbing because Abrego Garcia is also alleged with transporting minor children. The defendant traded the innocence of minor children for profit. There are even more disturbing facts that the grand jury uncovered. It is alleged this defendant is part of the same smuggling ring responsible for the death of more than 50 migrants in 2021 after the tractor trailer overturned in Mexico. This is part of that same ring. The defendant abused undocumented alien females, according to co-conspirators who were under his control while transporting them throughout our country. This defendant trafficked firearms and narcotics throughout our country on multiple occasions. They were using vehicles, SUVs, with added seats in the back, floors that had been ripped out, guns, narcotics, children, women, MS-13 members. That is what the grand jury found. A co-conspirator alleged that the defendant solicited nude photographs and videos of a minor. A co-conspirator also alleges the defendant played a role in the murder of a rival gang member's mother.
Whole rap sheet.
These facts demonstrate Abrego Garcia is a danger to our community.
Yeah, Democrats think otherwise. They think he's the, he's the innocent angel. He deserves to walk around in the community. Yeah.
We want to thank the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, our state and local partners, our acting U.S. Attorney Robert McGuire.
You just can't make it up. Again, y'all, I do want to apologize for some of the lighting over here. Even showing the green screen. Again, y'all know I just moved into my new house and we're still getting modifications done, and the studio in the house needs custom blinds installed, and they'll be installed soon. And sorry if the echoing, we do have things being built for the wall. It's a lot going on, okay? But so I just want to give you guys, for anybody that's new here, and all the other, family members on the channel, y'all know this, so I just want to apologize of the quality right now because we just moved into the new home. But let's get into this. And again, huge shout out to Julie that sent this over. Bombshells are flying everywhere on this case. Chief U.S. Attorney resigns after Abrego Garcia is returned.
So the guy who was the chief prosecutor in this federal district, the Nashville-based U.S. Attorney's Office, the same day this indictment came down against our good friend Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia. And by the way, it came down a couple weeks ago. It came down on May 21st. It was just announced yesterday. But the grand jury returned their indictment, their true bill indictment of Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia on May 21st. That same day, the chief U.S. attorney for that district resigned. Gave this kind of little mysterious, vague kind of statement here. He wrote, and his name is Ben Schrader. Former chief criminal division, U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Tennessee, which is where Abrego was indicted and where he'll be prosecuted. Ben Schrader, the same day that indictment was returned by the grand jury, he writes, earlier today, after nearly 15 years as an assistant United States attorney, I resigned as chief of the criminal division of the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Tennessee. It's been an incredible privilege to serve as a prosecutor with the Department of Justice, where the only job description I've ever known is to do the right thing in the right way for the right reasons. I wish all my colleagues well, and so forth and so on. Was it just a coincidence that this guy resigned the same day the indictment against Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia was returned? Well, did you know that in all 50 states, yourself, and I've endly for law, especially just make out quit. The New York Times, the Guardian are reporting that Ben Schrader quit over concern that the Abrego Garcia indictment was politically motivated. I wonder if he quit when Trump was being prosecuted, when the January 6th protesters were being prosecuted. Was he okay with those political prosecutions, or was he blind to those prosecutions being political because, well, those were his political enemies? When his political friends are being prosecuted, like apparently Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia, then he takes it so personally that he feels compelled to resign. By the way, if he were going to resign, why didn't he resign when the grand jury was impaneled against Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia? He would have known that. He's the chief of the criminal division. I mean, grand jury proceedings are generally confidential, of course. But he would have known. That would have been, in his view, the offense the government was committing, putting Abrego Garcia in front of a grand jury. But grand jury proceedings take weeks. And when the grand jury then returns an indictment, that's not the fault of the government didn't make that call. The grand jury made that call. So he's resigning over a call made by American citizens, in this case, in the grand jury. ABC is also reporting his resignation. Head of the criminal division for U.S. Attorney's Office. Good riddance to another defiant operative at the Department of Justice. And I agree with this take. This is just another indication of the kind of swamp, deep state, institutional, progressive woke DEI cancer that's taken over our institutions, that's gotten metastasized into the bones of our institutions.
Yep.
This guy's obviously a progressive woke DEI, a part chick of the left in this very powerful office. And he feels so strongly about being on the progressive woke DEI left that he has to resign his job when a grand jury returns an indictment for human trafficking against an already adjudicated MS-13 member, against someone for whom there is good evidence that he's human trafficking. He was caught on the highway driving a van full of people who don't speak English, and he didn't know any of their names. Have you ever had that experience? I mean, unless you're a hired chauffeur, I guess. You're just a random person driving from Texas, the Texas border with Mexico, to Maryland with a van full of people who can't speak English, and you don't.
And he had that thing rigged up, modified to the top tier. That SUV had a extra three rows. They had that bad boy rigged up.
I don't know any of their names, and nobody has identification papers. What is that other than human trafficking? Can there be a reasonable doubt that's human trafficking? Then we have the sworn allegations under oath made by his wife of spousal abuse. Now apparently a predilection for pornography of people who are not yet adults. This is the guy, this Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia, that this dude, Ben Schrader, felt his indictment was sufficient cause for him to resign a 15-year position. Is this rational? Is this the kind of person we actually want in this job? Chief Criminal Division, U.S. Attorney's Office for an entire federal district?
It's a whole bunch of them that ought to resign or be walked out. Just saying.
I would suggest not. I would suggest not.
Thanks for... Huge shout out to Julie for sending that one over, man. What do y'all think of all this? They come back and just to go through all, you know, but you know, these are Democrats. This is who they, you know, they have so much passion. They're so confident. They're so, you know, uproar. This is what, you know, this is what they want. No, we wish they cared this much about actual Americans. As much as you care about illegal criminal gang members, criminals, as much as you care and praise criminals, we wish y'all cared this much about actual Americans. Let me know what y'all think. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. God bless you all and your family. I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace and love, you guys.